What's good, everybody? It's the GOAT Aaron Brown. And before this video starts, be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's linked down below in the description, as well as become a member of my channel to support the channel and keep it growing and keep the support going. And let's jump straight into it. Now, in this video, I will be giving my men's 100-meter predictions for the Paris Olympics. The track and field portion of the games is starting in a few days, so I felt why not just go ahead and start giving my predictions and saying who I think is going to do what. So let's take a look into the men's 100 rankings. And one thing I learned going into championships, you have to take rankings with a grain of salt, especially championships like the Olympic Games, because some countries had to run fast already because their trials are just super hard to make and their teams are hard to make, so they have to peak and run fast there. And in other countries, they don't have to even hit the gas until they get to the championships. So that's why a lot of times you see guys who hadn't even ran fast that year show up and either win or get medals, is because they hadn't had to run fast or had to be nowhere near a peak until they get to the championships. So looking into the men's ranking, you got Keishane Thompson from Jamaica in first, Ferdinand in second. Of course, this time's ran at altitude with a good tailwind. Noah at third, oblique, Christian Coleman, Benjamin Richardson. Those two will be a non-factor at the championships because Coleman didn't make it. Richardson ran a fake time. Connie Sambine, Kenny B, Fred, Tobogo. Tobogo is prime example of one of those guys who I said hadn't had to run fast yet. Marcel Jacobs, another one of those guys who just haven't had to run fast yet. So really any one of those guys in the top 15 can not only medal, but they can win this Olympic Games, besides the people who didn't make it in the top 15, like who didn't make it qualify for the games. But there's also other guys you have to look for, like Andre de Grasse, guys who like simply just hadn't had to run fast this year because their country is so weak and they don't have to peak for their championships. But the Olympic Games and other championships, they always show up. So as much as we count them out year in and year out, they prove that they're always a medal threat. And then the previous Olympic champion, Marcel Jacobs, he hasn't looked this good since literally the last Olympic year. So he's 100% going to be a threat, whether we wanted to count him in or count him out. Last time he put together this kind of campaign, he came away with almost a 9.7 PR when he ran 9.80 at the last Olympics. Then he's been plagued with injuries since, and then he's finally healthy. But we've seen this story read plenty of times with Elaine Thompson on the women's side. Win the Olympics, be hurt the years in between, and come back and win the next Olympics. So you just can't put past people like that. Then you got guys like Zarnell Hughes. In my opinion, he's going to be a non-factor. He just ran at the London Diamond League. I think he's definitely going to be around 9 low shape, which isn't going to really do much here. If he's not ready to run somewhere in a ballpark of his PR or faster, honestly, he can forget about it. And that's why I feel like that injury he got earlier this year really set him back. But he's back healthy. And I just feel like he's a lot of wasted potential. Like, he has all the potential in the world, but he has that UK mindset, so he'll never be shit, honestly. Then you got the world leader, Keishane Thompson. He's been making it look super, super easy this year. Like, a lot of these guys, the only guy that's running who hasn't ran faster than is Fred Kerley, PR-wise. And he's been jogging faster than these guys' PRs. And he opened up 6 weeks ago when the real season starts. So the training I know he's done in the last 6 weeks probably been super intense. And it's getting him ready to go somewhere his body has never went before. And that's what I think a lot of these guys are training for, to go somewhere their body has never went before. But even then, most of the time, it won't be enough. You got guys like Noah Lyles. He ran another 9.8 at the London Diamond Leagues. That was like 4 weeks after the USA trials where he ran 9.83. So 9.81 on that super fast track. It was a respectable time, but I feel like, honestly, he's definitely going to have to go way faster at the championships to be a contender for a gold medal. I mean, 9.81 potentially could get a bronze or a silver medal, but I don't think that's going to be enough to get the gold this year. And then you have Olympic silver medalist in the 100 and world champion Fred Kerley, a guy he just showed that you simply can't count out. When his PR was 10-0 or 10-1 or season's best was 10-0, 10-1, people saying he wouldn't even make the finals at the USA's trials, and he made the finals, ran back-to-back 9.8s when people say he probably wouldn't even break 10. So he just showed that he's a guy that you can't count out. And you knew he just wasn't in the shape that he should have been in earlier this season. But him like getting later in the season and him dropping those back-to-back 9.8s and he still wasn't in great shape just goes to show with 6 more weeks, he's going to be in shape to do something crazy. And there's a song that says if he did it before, he can do it again. Same guy right now, same guy back then. I'd wholeheartedly believe that, especially after the showing that he showed at USA's, with that being 6 weeks ago, him not in nowhere near peak form, him not running fast, his race plan looked sloppy, and him still dropping back-to-back 9.8s, and his back end wasn't as strong as it usually was because he just didn't have the reps, just goes to show that he's going to be a major problem when it comes to the championships. Then he's a guy who's been there before, and it wasn't like it was a fluke because he's done it multiple times. He's ran one bad championship race since he's been professional, but other than that, he's been putting together great campaigns, and that's just the type of guy you can't count out. And another guy you would be a fool to count out or discredit when it comes to getting medals, because he's been to multiple Olympic Games and he's medaled in literally every single race he's participated in at the Olympics since he left college, and that's Andre Grasse, the Canadian record holder in damn near every event. He's prime example of why you should not pay attention to rankings going into championship meets, because he's one of those guys who simply don't have to press the gas until he gets to the championships. So he gets to train throughout the whole year and actually peak at the championship meet. So he doesn't ever go into championships with 9.8s and 19.7s and 19.6s. But you bet your bottom dollar he's in that shape. Because I remember the last Olympics, 2021, he was saying, well, yeah, Noah Lyles is the world champion and he's the world leader. He's the automatic favorite and he's a lock for gold. And Andre Grasse came off that curve, came and caught all that shit and won a meet. And I'm not even sure he broke 20 that year. So he's just one of those guys that you just simply will be a fool to count out, because he showed time and time again that he's one of the ones. So without further ado, these are my predictions. So first place, I have Fred Kerley winning the whole meet. He showed me at the Olympic Games, he's just simply going to be ready. And his last 2 9.8s that he ran 6 weeks ago, when people were saying that he wouldn't even make the final, showed me that you would be a fool to count him out. And that he's taking the biggest risk on himself. Like, he left his shoe company. He put the money aside, put the brand aside, just to simply lock in. And he said his goal is to upgrade his silver to gold. And he's putting together a great campaign, especially not being in top shape, not being consistently training, and still dropping back-to-back 9.8s on the same day. So I think he's going to be back to 2022 Fred, or something even scarier than that. Second place, I have the Jamaican Keishane Thompson. And I have Keishane getting like edged out like at the end of the race for a close second. And I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, I can't put him in my medals. He ain't been to no championships and blah, blah, blah. You know how many guys have won? 2004, Justin Gatlin, first Olympic game. He went and won. 2008, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, first Olympic Games. She went and won. 2021, Marcel Jacobs, first Olympic Games in the 100. He went and won. So that's no excuse. He showed what he can do, and you will be a fool to look past how he's been running, the effort he's been giving, the rounds that he even ran at the Jamaican trials, and say that, oh, he's incapable of doing good or getting a medal or even winning. And even on this list, any one of these guys can win. And there's either people on that's not on this list that can win, but this is just my prediction on how I would go and how I see things playing out. So I see Keishane Thompson getting second, and I see Noah Lyles running a personal best, but finishing third place. These other guys' bodies have been a place where his just haven't been. And granted, he's running well this year, and he has the third fastest time this year. But like I say, rankings aren't important when it comes to championships. Yes, Noah Lyles have multiple 9.8s under his belt this year. But I feel like at the rate that he's improving, he's not improving at an exponential rate to where I feel like that 9.8 can go somewhere super, super crazy. And unfortunately, I have guys like Oblique Seville finishing fourth again for the third straight year. But I feel like this will be a close race, like a blanket finish. I think Oblique and Seville will finish with the same time, kind of like Seville, Zarnell, and Tabogo did last year. But when it goes to like the thousandths of a second, to Seville's will be slower. I think guys like Tabogo, he'll be right there as well. Akani Sambini will probably be a step behind. But I seen this being a super close race. Everybody finishing down at the same time. And Fred just slightly ahead, like gets everybody at the end. Then there's other guys that can medal, of course. But y'all let me know y'all predictions down below in the comments. These are just mine. And predictions are just predictions. Like, nobody's going to be right. It's just what you think is going to play out and how it's going to play out based off the shape and improvement during the season of each athlete. So y'all let me know what y'all think down below in the comments.